Throughout time, people across the world told each other tales of how they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed.
Our tale begins on the night of Christmas Eve in Camelot, where King Arthur, Queen Guinevere, and all of their subjects, both noble and common, celebrate with feast and song and the exchanging of gifts. But then suddenly, the door of the hall swung open, and in strides a gigantic figure adorned with emerald-colored clothing upon a horse colored as moss. Arthur and many of his knights reached for their swords, ready to battle this intruder. But the man in green bade them he meant no quarrel. He dismounted his large horse and strode forward, carrying in one hand a holly bow and a mighty axe in the other.
My lord, my lady, and you brave knights of the Round Table, I offer you a challenge. I offer any man brave enough to strike me once with my axe, on the condition that I may return the strike in 1 year and a day. If any man is brave enough, his reward shall be my axe.
The great hall stood silent, though the knights of the Round Table were all strong and brave in their own right. No one quite knew what to make of this imposing green warrior. When Arthur stood to accept the challenge, a small voice came from the crowd.
I accept your challenge, Green Knight.
It was Sir Gawain, the youngest of Arthur's knights, and his very own nephew. Gawain approached the giant warily, the latter handing his axe to the youth. The Green Knight then knelt down and bore his neck. With one quick stroke, Gawain lopped off the stranger's head. But the Green Knight's body did not fall. Instead, his hands reached out and gathered his dismembered head as he remounted his horse. The severed head then began to speak.
Well done, lad. In 1 year and a day, meet me at the Green Chapel, so I may repay the blow. The axe is yours, if your word is mine.
As swiftly as the Green Knight had arrived in Camelot, he rode off on his horse, leaving the kingdom behind him. Admiring the axe, Gawain recounted the evening's events to himself, over and over again. His honor depends on keeping his word and facing the Green Knight in combat. 12 months later, on All Saints' Day, Gawain set off on his quest to the Green Chapel, bound to uphold his word and meet the Green Knight in personal combat. After a lengthy journey, Gawain found himself in the shadow of a great castle. There he was met by the castle lord Bertilac de Haut-Desir and his beautiful wife, Lady Bertilac. Gawain then regaled them with a tale of his encounter with the Green Knight and the bargain he must honor. Lord Bertilac and his wife reassured him that the Green Chapel was a mere 2 miles away, and that he was more than welcome to stay at their castle until the day of his meeting. Gawain was relieved at his host's offer, and felt a sense of warm welcome from all, save a decrepit, nameless crone, who was feared and honored by all others. The next day, Gawain was given a bargain by Lord Bertilac. He will give Gawain whatever he catches during his hunt, in exchange for anything Gawain may have been given during the day. Gawain accepted, and Lord Bertilac went off on his hunt with his hounds. Not long after, Lady Bertilac entered Gawain's bedroom and attempted to seduce him. But despite her best efforts, Gawain refused her advances, out of respect for both her and her husband, who had so graciously invited him into their home. However, out of unwillingness to offend her, he permitted one kiss. When Lord Bertilac returned, he gave Gawain a deer, and Gawain gave his host a kiss, while being discreet about its source. The following morning, a similar account took place. Lady Bertilac once again attempted to make love with Gawain, only to be refuted, save for 2 kisses this time. Lord Bertilac then returned from his hunt with a boar, given to Gawain, who then gave his host 2 kisses. On the 3rd morning, after Lady Bertilac's advances were turned away, she decided to give him a gold ring. But Gawain could not bring himself to accept the gift and refused. Lady Bertilac then pleaded with Gawain to at least accept her belt as a gift. This belt, you see, was no ordinary belt. It was a girdle of green and gold silk, enchanted by magic to keep its wearer invulnerable to harm. Knowing that he may be killed by the Green Knight, who he recalled being durable enough to survive a decapitation, Gawain accepted the belt, and they exchanged 3 kisses as she swore Gawain to secrecy. While this exchange took place, they were being spied upon by the old crone. When Lord Bertilac returned home that evening, he gave Gawain a fox, and Gawain gave his host 3 kisses, but kept the belt a secret.
The next morning, Sir Gawain rode off down the trail to the Green Chapel, with Lady Bertilac's belt wrapped twice around his waist. Upon arriving at the Green Chapel, he saw the Green Knight sharpening his battle-axe. The 2 knights approached one another, and Gawain knelt down to receive the Green Knight's strike, as per their bargain. Intimidated by his enormous opponent, Gawain flinched as the axe just missed his neck.
Ha! Is this how Arthur's knights greet enemy strikes? Show some mettle, young warrior!
The Green Knight's taunts rallied within Gawain, who stood firm as the giant's axe swung again, and missed.
Had to test your nerve, young pup.
If you are going to strike me, giant, hurry up and do so.
The Green Knight obliged, and grazed Gawain's neck with the edge of his axe's blade. Eager to engage in battle, Sir Gawain readied his sword, but was astonished as the Green Knight removed his helmet and revealed himself to be none other than Lord Bertilac. Lord Bertilac then revealed that he was disguised by magic from a spell cast by the old crone of the castle, who was none other than the infamous Morgan Le Fay herself. It was Morgan Le Fay's plot to test the courage of Arthur's knights and frighten Queen Guinevere. He then proceeded to explain to Gawain that he missed his first 2 strikes on purpose because of the honor and the kisses he had given him, but lightly cut him the 3rd time for keeping the green girdle a secret, a fact Lord Bertilac learned of from the sprying crone. Gawain hung his head, ashamed of having acted with deception. But Lord Bertilac patted his shoulder and told him that he was the most blameless knight in all of Britain. Sir Gawain and Lord Bertilac bade farewell to one another, and Gawain set off home to Camelot. Gawain kept the belt about his waist always, wearing it as a reminder of his deception to a generous host and an honorable opponent. But his Lord Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table absolved him of all guilt, and henceforth the Knights of the Round Table and their king wore a sash of green to honor Sir Gawain and his battle with the Green Knight, and to remind them to always act with honesty.